Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. The missions, power, and compass update for Astroneer is releasing soon. So let's take a look at what's new, what's changed, including exciting changes to crossplay and dedicated servers, and talk about first impressions of this much anticipated update. At the very end of the video, we'll even talk about the release date. There is a lot to cover, so I've added timestamps so you can skip around to the parts you're most interested in. Before we get started though, if you're watching this video right around the time it went live, just afternoon Pacific time on March 30th, then you can also catch live gameplay with this update on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Vainglorious Gaming. But maybe finish watching the video first. There are so many new items and changes that it's difficult to pick one to start with. So let's talk about the one that greets you the moment you load into the game. Missions. Landing pads now feature the new mission log control panel that displays the available missions, their requirements for completion, and their rewards. The rewards can include research bites, schematic unlocks from the research catalog, and several items, one of which can only be obtained through the missions themselves. To help you track your progress to the various missions, your backpack now has a mission log panel attached. This differs from the mission log control panel on the landing pads in that you can only view the missions, but you cannot use it to claim your rewards. As you make progress through missions, you'll receive updated on-screen prompts to not only track your progress, but to also notify you of mission completion and when new missions are available to complete. The mission log can also be accessed to the new action wheel interface. This interface currently has options to view the research catalog, the mission log, and the all-new compass. We'll talk more about the compass in just a moment. The action wheel can be activated with the R key on your keyboard or by pressing right on a controller D-pad. You can select options with your mouse cursor or the right thumbstick and activate options with the left mouse button or right trigger or by releasing R or D-pad right. You can also quick press R or right on your D-pad to recall the last option that you had open in the action wheel or to close the option you currently have open. You can also toggle a menu option in the game settings that allows you to switch between opening the action wheel with a button press or a button hold. If you're in creative mode, the action wheel also has options for the terrain tool menu and activating the arrow drone. All existing hotkeys for items on the action wheel still function as well, and the action wheel means that you can now access most of these options while in a vehicle or in a shelter. Of course, the big new item on the action wheel is the compass. Gone is the old compass that simply displays the 4 cardinal directions. In its place, we have something with much greater functionality. The points on the compass not only indicate direction, but also display various objects complete with distance, direction, and elevation indicators. Oh, and the compass now actually points to the correct North Pole. It seems the compass we had before was reversed. The compass can track beacons, shelters, shuttles, land vehicles, gateway chambers, other players, and corpse backpacks. It will, however, only display a total of 10 objects at any given time, and it will choose them based upon a target type's priority and proximity. For example, a shelter will appear on your compass before a beacon will because shelters have a greater priority. But if you have more than one shelter on a planet, the compass will only indicate the one that you are closest to. You can change how the compass appears on your screen through the settings menu. You can adjust its degree of tilt and scale its size up and down. So if you think the compass is taking up too much space, you can make it smaller. And if you're having difficulty interpreting its distance and elevation displays, you can adjust the tilt to a better angle to get a better view. The compass brings with it a couple of other enhancements as well. The probe scanner will now display a nav point for the probe it is tracking whenever the scanner itself is active. And if you interact with an oddstone, each node is now labeled with their location on the planet. To bridge the gap between what's entirely new and what is simply changed, we move on to the topic of power. We have 4 new power items. The large wind turbine costs 3,500 bytes, and it is crafted on the medium printer from 1 aluminum alloy, 1 glass, and 1 ceramic. It will produce 10 units per second when the wind is blowing. The large solar panel has a byte cost of 4,000, and it's crafted on the medium printer from 1 aluminum alloy, 1 glass, and 1 copper. It will produce 8 units per second when the sun is in the sky. The extra large wind turbine costs 4,500 bytes to unlock, and it is crafted on the large printer from 1 iron, 1 ceramic, 1 graphene, and 1 aluminum alloy. When the wind is blowing, it will produce 17 units per second. And then we have the qt-rtg. The only new item that cannot be unlocked in the research catalog and cannot be crafted. Instead, you receive qt-rtgs as mission rewards, and you can find them in exo research aids or on debris, though both of those latter are pretty rare. The qt-rtg produces a constant 1 unit per second. In addition to the new power items, existing power producers and power consumers have been updated. Many power producers have had their byte costs reduced, and some have new recipes. Almost all of them have increased power output. I will be covering all of the updates to power in an upcoming Astroneer Academy video, so I won't go into too much detail during this video aside from the graphic that you see on your screen. Additionally, many power consumers have also been updated, with most of them now consuming significantly more power. Again, I will not be covering this in detail right now, since we will be taking an in-depth look at all of the updates to power in an Astroneer Academy video, so be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you don't miss that video. But one power consumer that saw a reduction is the portable oxygenator, which now uses 1 unit per second, and its bugs have finally been worked out, so it no longer draws double its required power. On a quick side note, it's important to remember that the version of the game that I'm recording from is still a beta build, so some of the values cited above may differ from what you see in the final version of the update. The changes don't stop there. The customization menu has received a much needed update that brings it in line with the design of Exo Outfitters and allows you to hover over cosmetics to preview them, and the ability to store several different outfits. Being able to store an outfit means you can easily swap between these stored outfits quickly right in the customization menu. Additionally, the emote wheel can now support 8 total preset emotes. Mouse and keyboard players, you will need to use the emote wheel instead of your keyboard to access presets 4 through 8, however, as these have not been mapped to any keybinds. You can choose the 8 emotes for your emote wheel from the customization menu. This update has also brought about the return of the Exo Salvage Initiative limited time event. This event has you cleaning up debris and shipping it off via the Exo request platform. You might need some dynamite in order to blast some larger debris into easily packageable pieces. On top of that, Exo will also accept scrap resource nuggets, so you can easily automate this event. Rewards include the Salvage Throwback Bundle for reaching 1,500 points, and that includes the Turret Porter Mask, the Formal Attire Hat, and the Salvage Chic Palette, plus you can unlock the new Wired Hat for 5,000 points, and the new Going Green Palette for 8,000 points. I have not yet completed the event, so I can't show you those last two, but I will be sure to post a short video once I have them. You will also earn useful incremental rewards along the way and random recurring awards at the end of the event, which can include qt-rtgs. And if all of this wasn't enough, horns have received a very unexpected update. Both Tier 1 horns can now be attached to the input slots of resource canisters. When attached, a horn changes its default sound to one determined by the contents of the canister. In fact, there are 3 total properties that determine the sound coming from a horn, including the change in pitch, determined by how full the canister is, the type of sound produced overall based upon the resource inside the canister, and the spacing of the pitch interval based upon the capacity and tier size of the canister the horn is attached to. If you really want to hear the sound from the various resources, click the card on your screen or the link in the description down below to play an unlisted video from my channel featuring all of the resource horn sounds. And finally, PlayStation 4 players, I have some really good news for you. This update brings to you, at long last, the ability to play with Astroneers on other platforms by hosting your own dedicated server or joining another player's server. While no platform can really join locally hosted games on other platforms, we can all finally play together on a dedicated server no matter what platform we are playing on. This update also brought with it numerous bug fixes. You can check the Astroneer Discord or subreddit for the full patch notes, but here are some highlights. The soil centrifuge should no longer break if it loses power during its spin cycle. Resources should now properly auto-pull when attached to a resource canister that has its output disabled. Terrain should no longer disappear in multiplayer games after dying or flying between planets, and you should no longer hear persistent terrain tool sounds if you left and re-entered an area while another player was deforming terrain. So, this update is packed with a ton of new items, great changes, and a long list of bug fixes. But when will it be released so that you can play it? Well, you don't have to wait long, because the update will drop tomorrow, March 31st. System Era doesn't usually announce a specific time to go along with the date, so I don't know the precise moment that you can expect to download it. So keep an eye on your respective platforms to know when the update goes live. And of course, you can join me tomorrow right here on YouTube for my weekly Let's Play Astroneer series, where I'll be getting to work setting up automation for the Exo Salvage initiative. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you happen to be watching this when it went live, you can hop over to twitch.tv/Vainglorious Gaming, where I'm streaming a sneak peek of the update. Let's wrap things up by talking about first impressions for this much anticipated update. But first, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the missions, power, and compass update for Astroneer. Be sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what you like and what you wish were different. And you can also come talk to us about it on the Vainglorious Discord server, where we have a lot of Astroneer players and dedicated Astroneer channels. Overall, I'm really happy with this update. The missions fit nicely into a new save and even give you some new things to do in an existing save. Unfortunately, System Era wasn't able to fully integrate some missions into existing saves, so you may find yourself repeating things that you've already done. That's not so bad when it's something simple like gathering 4 resin for a compound, but when the game starts asking me to make a small shuttle and a thruster when I already have both, or wants me to make another tractor when I already have one, I feel like I'm wasting both my time and my resources. And I feel the missions reveal a bit too much about the game way too early that could spoil some of the awe and wonder from Discovery that made so many of us fall in love with the game. But those complaints aside, the missions are a solid addition to Astroneer. The new power producers and the buffs to almost all of the existing ones is quite nice. I do hope that we see new higher capacity and output batteries in the future because, as it is, you have to make a lot of batteries to store up the energy produced from wind and solar. And while most of the power consumer changes feel balanced, I do feel that the atmospheric condenser is now way out of balance with the rest of the overall power network. 20 units per second is just too high. To be honest, I feel like it introduces a limitation that winds up restricting how I can approach using it, which reduces the choices I get to make in the game. And a big part of Astroneer's beauty is that it has always pretty much allowed you to approach nearly everything however you want. But that one power consumer aside, I haven't run into any other issues with building a base or even remote outposts and keeping them powered to meet my needs. The updated compass is something Astroneer has needed for a very long time, so I'm glad it is finally here. It reduces a major pain point in the game, though I have some concerns here as well. I feel getting lost once or twice early on in the game is actually useful for newer players. It helps you learn the various biomes, discover different resources that are available in those biomes, and even helps you discover useful items on debris, and helps you marvel at the sight of a gateway chamber the first time you stumble upon one. Personally, I think the compass should be something that is unlocked through some of the mid-game oriented missions, so new players don't miss out on the chance to learn the things that you encounter while lost. But the compass is very well done. It gives a very clear indication of distance to a navigation point, as well as its elevation. And the inclusion of probes appearing on the compass while the probe scanner is active is the icing on the cake. The action wheel is nearly flawless, and I especially appreciate the quick select functionality while I'm using the compass. The customization menu update has been needed for a long time as well, and it has been very well executed. I have zero complaints on that one. And of course, who can't help but love the added sounds for horns attached to resource canisters? It might just be my favorite part of the update, and I can't wait to hear some of the musical creations the Astroneer community produces with those little horns. Likewise, PlayStation 4 players, at long last, have the opportunity to join the rest of us via dedicated servers, giving the entire community the opportunity to play together no matter what platform they are running. And finally, I'm always glad to see a limited time event to take part in, even if it is just a slightly modified version of one we've already seen before. And that wraps up my coverage of the missions, power, and compass update for Astroneer. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then please hit that like button and get subscribed with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of my Astroneer content, including official news for upcoming updates, my Astroneer Academy series, and my weekly Let's Play Astroneer videos. Plus, I feature a variety of other games here on my channel. And join me this afternoon and again every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time for Astroneer live streams at twitch.tv/Vainglorious Gaming. Until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.